the football player that we definitely are talking about right about here at the Chelsea chapter. Hello everyone, and thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, and please subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Chelsea related, right about here at the Chelsea chapter with me, your very host, KALS. Moises Caicedo's bid. Actually, no, Moises Caicedo bid. It is a bid by the club Chelsea, and we're talking about a football player called Moises Caicedo, who is a Brighton and Hove football player who's been playing for Caicedo, who is an Ecuador. Things are definitely going on, is having a good time because Chelsea is looking at getting him and dedicated to making sure that they can get him. But also, Mrs. Caicedo is interested in a move away from the club, Brighton and Hove. It will be remembered that recently what was available on the transfer market as regards Moises Caicedo was £100 million when we talk about his release clause. The club Brighton and Hove came out and said they needed £100 million. And I must say that's quite a lot of money. That's a bit of money. And I'm not saying that he's not worth the amount of money, but it's quite a lot, you know. So negotiations have been taking place, and definitely the first bid was rejected, and right about now it is reportedly said that the club Chelsea are preparing the second bid that is worth £80 million, and that's what we are getting. £80 million, that's the bid that Chelsea is going to be putting in after a failed bid, and Chelsea are looking forward to getting their defensive midfielder. Anyway, Moises Caicedo really has been a top target by very many clubs, and some of the clubs that have been targeting the football player include Arsenal. Arsenal has been heavily linked to Moises Caicedo, but there is nothing that really came out quite confirmed that they could take him after them spending a lot of money, something like £200 million. They've not sold a number of football players. FFP rules are really getting to them, and I definitely think that things will get much better for the football player. And also, do not forget that things will really get much better, I must say, for Moises Caicedo. Let me see what I'm getting. Right about here. Moises Caicedo. Oh, sorry. I didn't know. Oh, sorry. I'm getting a bit of information about Moises Caicedo. Let me see. Moises Caicedo. Anyway, let's hope really everything goes on quite well and as planned, and we're going to be seeing Moises Caicedo really making a big move to the club. Moises Caicedo is going to be making a big move to the club Chelsea, as Chelsea are really looking forward to making sure that they can land themselves a good football player, and that will be none other than Moises Caicedo. So seeing the possibilities of Moises Caicedo really ending up at the club Chelsea, it's quite high, as we already know that Chelsea is in its final stages of getting the defender, the defensive midfielder, and when he's played in the Premier League, really, he's showed that he is class. He's really showed that he can be one of the best, really, and he's been playing absolutely well, so there is no reason whatsoever as to why Moises Caicedo shouldn't be signed by the club Chelsea. So as I was telling you before, there was quite a lot that was going on between Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester City being drawn a little bit into this transfer, but not very much as the club Liverpool. So mainly it's been Liverpool, Arsenal, in right about now, I can confirm to you that Chelsea really is in Chelsea. Big and massive possibility. Anyway, let us know what you definitely think about the football player joining the club Chelsea, as we definitely think that Moises Caicedo really is going to be a brilliant football player once he is signed. There are big possibilities that the football player is going to be signed by the club Chelsea, as Chelsea, it is reportedly said that Chelsea has gone on, it's not yet put in a bid, but it is preparing an 80 million pound bid. And really, I think that will definitely be quite good news. And I think everybody will like to see Moises Caicedo playing for the club Chelsea. Already, football players have already signed. A few football players have already signed for the club Chelsea. And some of these football players that have signed, we've got Christopher Nkunku, we've got Christopher Nkunku, we've got Nicholas Jackson, we've got also a young talent, quite a big number of football players have already signed, but we've got the young talent, Angelo, what's his other name? Angelo Gabriel, who's also a fine football player, very good football player, and I think really things will keep on moving on quite well for the club Chelsea, as Chelsea's looking at reinforcement in different fields when it comes to this transfer season. The fact that Chelsea had a few ups and downs last season, it didn't go on quite well and as planned, but Chelsea didn't have the best of seasons last season, and Chelsea had to sack Graham Potter, who was a manager at the club Chelsea, but by the look of things, he did not get properly into the system to make sure that really the system works for him. He didn't perform quite well. We did not get good feedback from him, and also the fact that Frank Lampard came and took over. Even Frank Lampard, some people really said that if Frank Lampard really had performed quite well, there would have been a big possibility that he would remain and be the manager of Chelsea. But it will be remembered that he was given limited time, and he hardly won any game anyway. Let's hope really everything will keep on moving on quite well for the club Chelsea, as I'm telling you that we are talking about Moises Caicedo, and an 80 million pound bid is being prepared so that Chelsea can really get the football player. Please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Chelsea related right about here at the Chelsea chapter. As we've been talking about a big bid that is worth something like 85 million pounds, not 85, sorry, 80 million pounds, despite the fact that the club Brighton and Hove said they needed 100 million pounds for Moises Caicedo. They can say what they want, but the reality is the club Chelsea is ready to give them possibly something around 80 million pound for Moises Caicedo. It's going to be a brilliant one. It's going to be a very good one, and we hope Moises Caicedo really ends up at the club Chelsea, and we hope everything will go on quite well and as planned for the club Chelsea. And Chelsea getting a few more football players. Few football players are still in the pipeline. Chelsea's trying its level best to make sure they can sign more football players, but the football players that are already in, all of them are really class football players, and really are still, I will say that, are still should say also a bit of experienced football players to make sure that they can really do a good job. These are